Hi, my name's Scott Harvey at Scott Harvey Winery, and I and Molly, who's holding the camera right now, are going to show you how to run a free SO2 on a vacuum aspirator. We're going to do a whole series of lab tests, one at a time, and we'll have a sheet that explains what we're doing that you can refer to. Molly just brought it up there, and so you can refer back to that. But the vacuum aspiration, basically, we're taking a wine sample, 20 milliliters, and we're bubbling air through it into a solution that catches the free SO2, and then we test the SO2 with the titration. So that's the basic thing. But so the first part, you can look at the vacuum aspirator here, and this will be where the wine sample goes, and this will be where the SO2 goes into a beaker. The beakers look like this. So this is the wine sample beaker that'll go on here. Okay, it's hooked up to an oxygenator that is this machine here, and that is controlled by a timer here, which will run for 10 minutes. So first off, we have to make the solution that the SO2 goes into. So that is done using hydrogen peroxide. This is a 30% solution of hydrogen peroxide. In the instructions, it tells you to take 1 ml of that and put it in a 100 ml flask, and then add distilled water up to 100 mils. And that creates this 0.3% solution of hydrogen peroxide. Okay, so we need 10 mils of this, so we'll take 10 mils. Here's a little 10 milliliter graduated cylinder. And then I keep this refrigerated in the refrigerator. And then here's the flask that we'll use. We're going to need a color indicator, which is this here. All of these things you can get from a wine lab company. So you take about 5 drops of this very, very dark color indicator. So this is what will change color depending on how much sulfur is in the wine. So as you can see, right now it's green, okay? And what we're going to want to do is when we run it, as the sulfur goes in it, it will turn purple or dark blue. And so now we need our wine sample. So we're going to run, this is a Barbera from the Linstead Vineyard in Amador County. I take a little bit of wine and run it through, just for good lab technique. Rinse everything out with the wine you're going to run. And so this is a 20 milliliter pipette. So I put the pipette down in the wine as I'm blowing it in, and then at the very end I pull it out because I don't want to blow off any of the SO2 that's in the wine. So now we've got our setup set up to run, and we'll turn the timer to 10 minutes, and notice that it's okay. So to the 20 milliliters of wine, we have to add 10 milliliters of a phosphoric acid 25% solution. So that's what this is. And then we're going to run it. We're turning on our aerator, vacuum aspirator, it's called. And then so now it's blowing air into here, and it's going into here. And you can see this green is starting to dark up as it picks up color. This tells you that we have positive pressure. There's a little BB in there that's floating when it's on, tells you how much pressure is going through. So you can already see it's gotten fairly dark. So now we're going to let it run for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back when we're closer to the end of the 10-minute period. Okay, 10 minutes is almost up. You'll hear it click here and stop. You can see how purple the flask has become, the liquid inside. There we go. So I pull it off right away. That way nothing gets left inside there. Okay, we come over here. I check my titration. It is down a little bit, so I'm going to top it off right to 0. This is 0.01 normal sodium hydroxide, NaOH. And then so I'll work the stopper with one hand, and I'll swirl it with the other until that purple turns green. Okay, you'll see it going in 1 drop at a time. And it's still purple, still purple. There it is, it turned green. That's your end point. So then you put this back on the unit. Get rid of our wine sample since it's done. And we'll read off our how much 0.1 normal sodium hydroxide was used, and it's 0.7 mils. And so you multiply that times 16. So 0.7 times 16 means there's 11 parts per million of free SO2 in that wine. So we write that in our lab book, 11 parts per million. And we tend to like to store wine in barrel at between 30 and 40 parts per million. So we'll probably write a work order to add 30 parts per million to this, or 25 parts per million next time we top. So that's free SO2 is very important in winemaking. Without it, the wine will oxidize, and oxidation will allow the spoilage organisms, especially Acetobacter, vinegar-producing bacteria, to turn the alcohol in the wine into vinegar, which is what we do not want to do. Okay, thank you.